Thank you, Saul, and hi, good evening, everyone. If I were standing before you 3 months ago, I would have probably talked about what Jewish National Fund does the best, Zionism. Zionism is seen through Mass High School, the Global Zionist Village, our work strengthening the home of the Jewish people in the land of Israel, developing vibrant communities in the north and the south, the Negev and the Galil, providing water to a thirsty nation, and working with our great affiliates. No one knows the people on the streets of Beersheba, Akko, the Arava, or Kiryat Shmona like Jewish National Fund USA. I would have highlighted that our magic was grounded in our strategic thinking and focused objectives of empowering and populating these areas, providing long-term solutions, long-term sustainable impact, understanding that their development is crucial for Israel. I would have spoken about how we work closely with community leaders, elected officials, residents who live there, together with our Jewish National Fund leaders. And I would have emphasized that we don't do projects. We do vision, and under vision and strategic planning, we do many projects. As the horrific attack of October 7th unfolded, it was instantly clear that so much of what we were working on would be useful to make things happen in this crisis. Our relationships, networks, and trust that we've built over decades were exactly what we needed in this moment. So we sprung into action. Within hours of Hamas's atrocities, Jewish National Fund USA set up what we call the Situation Room at Alexander Mass High School in Hod HaSharon, where we sought to use our many years of relationships to help people and communities. In those early hours and days of this war, as the IDF continued to hunt terrorists inside Israel and recover from the horrific surprise, our initial work was focused on supporting the evacuation of the communities, and Jewish National Fund USA directly assisted the evacuation of 30,000 people to safer locations. But that simple term, evacuate, doesn't begin to do justice to the challenges that were faced. Yet, we were prepared because of past experience. We had mapped out where we could move people. We knew which homes, hostels, hotels were available, and within hours, we were setting up the operation. We know these people. We work with them every day. We then focused on delivering urgent support to the people, families, and communities. Multiple times every day, our Jewish National Fund USA team was in touch with the friends, the mayors, the local authorities across the South. As these people fled their homes, traumatized families with young children, elderly people that require medical care, we could not just simply solve the issue of where they would sleep. We had to make sure there was everything they needed, from clothing, beds, sheets, food and water, to medical care, diapers, respite activities, toys, kindergartens, educational equipment, and so much more. We had to come up with solutions to even more fundamental questions. If we evacuate 1,000 people to a place that usually only has a population of 2,000 people, how do you account for basic infrastructure needs like shelters, food, education and classroom, laundry, and even trash collection. Just to give you an idea, the Central Arava region that counts 4,500 people has absorbed 2,200 people. The Eilot region that has 5,500 people has absorbed 2,500 people. Arad, with 30,000 people, residents absorbed 3,000 evacuees. Mitzpe Ramon, with 5,000 people, absorbed 3,900 evacuees. Ramat HaNegev, with 8,000 residents, has absorbed 3,000 evacuees. Do you understand the proportions? The fact that regions within a day, in the middle of a national crisis, a war, had to deal with increasing their communities by 50% and more. But this is what Jewish National Fund USA did. Together with the host municipalities, we solved these challenges by reviewing and approving hundreds of requests of assistance every day, by distributing aid so that the tens of thousands of Israelis who were lucky enough to flee from the fighting would have all their basic needs met. And we've set up educational facilities, sent in washing machines, bomb shelters, brought in respite activities for all the children and the parents, purchased civil defense equipment, provided help for people who couldn't evacuate, and the list goes on. And we were able to do this because years ago we developed a system of collaboration and affiliates who work together with us. Yes, we've been working through the years to grow the population of these towns, but we did not envision that such a sudden and massive migration would take place amidst of a brutal war. And we, Jewish National Fund USA, became a hosting community. At this moment, at Mass High School campus, we're hosting families of Israeli evacuees. Yes, we have provided housing, social services, meals, medical care, and activities for children, and we're preparing Mass South to play a role in the coming months. Please understand, on October 6th, we were housing high school students, and now we're supporting evacuees in these same dorm rooms. We've provided essential services to over 100,000 people throughout our great affiliates, some of whom are here, others who could not join us here live, yet, believe me, they're here. We're supplying thousands of daily care packages to soldiers and evacuees through our program Buy Support Package, through our online Mitzvah Marketplace. We've built a temporary trauma room in Adi Negev that serves hundreds of soldiers and civilians. We've helped over 9,000 children with special needs get the care that they need. We've provided support and programs for over 10,000 evacuated children and teenagers throughout Israel. We're helping to coordinate over 50,000 volunteers who are needed in the fields to ensure food security in Israel so that the Israeli agricultural sector can continue to function while their usual workers are called up to the IDF. We're offering support to hundreds of small businesses throughout Israel who need help to function and pivot their operations online, and through our Louder Employment Center, assisting tens of thousands of evacuees to make sure they continue to work despite the situation. We're providing what is needed by lone soldiers who are fighting for our country far from their families through a program called Operation Hug, together with Nefesh B'Nefesh, Friends of the IDF, and Jewish National Fund USA. Thank you. We have supplied hundreds of shelters, security and civil defense equipment, fire trucks and more to tens of communities all over Israel, both in the south and in the north. And yes, you all know the war, and as you all know, the war in the south had an immediate impact on our northern border. 60,000 people were evacuated from Kiryat Shmona and all the communities along the northern border. We have immediately established a $10 million fund with the government to support these communities and evacuees, and we work closely with them. Your Jewish National Fund brought 52 municipalities together. That in and of itself was a miracle. The scale of what's happening is just unbelievable. So let me share what all of this support looks like for an ordinary Israelis. The Gildov family from Sderot is now living in Alexander Mas High School dorms. To put their ordeal in context, while they survived the massacre of October 7, as they fled in their car with only a hastily packed suitcase, their vehicle was hit by a rocket and was engulfed by flames. They miraculously survived, and when they arrived at Mass, the women hugged me, and we cried together. One of the men shyly asked if he could hug me as well to say thank you, and of course, I agreed. I bring that hug here to all of you to say thank you on behalf of the Gildovs. I'm also bringing you a hug from Lilach from Moshav Ohad in the Eshkol region. During that Black Shabbat, Lilach and her family hid for hours and were thankfully evacuated as the fighting still raged on. They ended at Kibbutz Mashabei Sadeh in Ramat HaNegev region. When we visited them, Lilach and Eran Doron, the mayor of Ramat HaNegev Council, both looked at us and asked us to convey how grateful they are for all the support that Jewish National Fund USA provides. They told us that JNF USA is the only organization that understood what the local communities and evacuees needed and reacted quickly. They and so many others are grateful beyond words that, as we say, Kol Israel arevim ze laze. All of Israel is responsible one for another. Amidst such stories of light, there remains too much darkness. I cannot convey to you in words the pain and suffering that families of hostages are experiencing right now. It's a grief that is new to us, to this generation, to our entire society. In the depth of such sadness, I wish to also express gratitude of my good friend, Sheli Shem Tov, whose son, Omer, was taken hostage. Jewish National Fund has also supported the abducted and missing families' home. I wish I could read to you the dozens of thank you letters we've received and relate to you how many conversations I've had with council leaders and residents expressing their gratitude for our friendship and mutual partnership. That started in days of peace and continued into days of war. We have some of the letters displayed here at the conference along the corridors. If anyone has ever doubted our impact or why we do what we do, the last 2 months shine bright as a reminder that we are all connected. I'm a proud Jew. I'm a proud Zionist. I'm a proud Israeli and a proud JNF USA representative. Your representative on the ground. And yes, due to our deep commitment to each other, due to your support and our work on the ground, ביחד ננצח. Together we will win. Thank you. I applaud you. I thank you for your commitment and your love and your care for Israel. We don't take it for granted. We're doing it together. ביחד ננצח is not just a slogan, it's a real thing, and I believe in it. Thank you. And I'd like now to ask my dear friend and colleague, Michal Uziyahu, my hero, who lives and works in Eshkol region, to come up and share her story.